Sometimes you just want a nice ice cold Diet Coke. Now, you've probably heard on the internet that you shouldn't be having this, instead you should be having water. If this sounds like you and you want the actual truth, this video is for you. So, you're sitting down in the restaurant with your friends or family and the waiter comes over and goes, "Would you like anything to drink while you're looking at the menu?" You then reply back something along the lines of, "Do you know what, I haven't even looked at the drinks yet." Insert awkward laugh. And then pretend to look at the drinks menu, knowing full well exactly what is on that menu, and then reply, "Do you know what, I think I'm just going to have a Diet Coke for now." As that waiter then walks off, someone on the table usually then pipes up with, "Should you be having that Diet Coke?" That person that usually pipes up usually isn't in the best shape themselves and probably believes the pyramids were made by aliens. Now, you know there is nothing wrong with having 1 or 2 Diet Cokes with your meal. You just haven't got the ammunition to fire back at that person and put them in their place. So, in this video, I'm going to give you all the evidence you need, so next time they pipe up, you can shut them straight back down. Let's get started. So the main reason people pipe up about Diet Coke is because of the word carcinogenic. That word is given to a substance that is more likely to increase the chances of you getting cancer. In group 3, we've got things like coffee, fluorescent lights, magnetic fields, all the things where there is no specific evidence that points to it being a carcinogen. Then moving on to the realms of 2A and 2B. The easiest way to think of these is that it is possible they could be carcinogenic, but there is no hard evidence. Now, what's the difference between 2A and 2B? 2A, there might have been some animal studies, whereas 2B, there has been no animal studies whatsoever. Now, we've all heard of the studies that show Diet Coke is correlated to cancer, but did you know those studies were done in rats? Question, are you a rat? Are you Master Splinter? Are you trying to raise 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? If the answer is yes, then you might want to watch out for aspartame. Also in 2B, we've got things like pickled vegetables, coconut oil, even certain jobs such as being a hairdresser. That's right, my barber's job is a category within this. One other thing that's also in 2B is the thing that those people at the start who are telling you not to order the Diet Coke are probably just about to order off the menu, and that is processed meat. In fact, let's actually just dive off on a tangent on that. Now, there have been a lot of documentaries in the last few years about processed meat causing cancer. So to address this quickly, do these cause cancer? Short answer, no. What they are actually referring to is correlation. When you have a large amount of people who drink, smoke, stay up all night, have takeaway, it's more likely that they will consume a ton of processed meat. But it's not the processed meat that's actually causing the issue. It's all the other stuff. Picture the most unhealthiest person in your mind. Chances are they probably eat a lot of processed meat. Processed meat isn't the problem. The reason so many people lose it when it comes to aspartame, the thing that's in Diet Coke, is because it recently got put on the 2B list. However, do you know what else is on that 2B list? Your mobile phone. So the next time that guy asks you if you should be having that Diet Coke, ask him, should you be having that phone in your hand? Now, here's the point I think people miss. Is Diet Coke healthy? I can kind of see both sides of the story. Is the drink that no one knows the exact ingredients and was designed to clean toilets probably the best thing to be putting in your system? Actually, yes. Hear me out. Let's say I take on an overweight client who's obese, struggling with their habits, and everything they do is pretty much a type 1 carcinogenic. Let's say I take that person. Now, if a Diet Coke can help satisfy their cravings, to help them stop snacking so much, and thus have less calories, meaning they drop body weight, then maybe they start to get a bit of momentum. Maybe they start seeing some results. Maybe they then get a gym membership or start upping their steps or start eating better. All of that from just switching to Diet Coke. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jared, that's probably a little extreme. Well, the answer is no. Small changes are what move the needle. If you have a plane that's going from Los Angeles to New York, if you change the direction of that plane by just 1%, that plane is going to end up in a completely different state miles away, hundreds of miles away. That Diet Coke, I have seen time and time again, be that 1 degree. If we can help someone move that needle so they're less obese, they're not only going to be less likely to develop cancer, but also stroke, heart attack, and cardiovascular diseases. Studies have shown that 50 milligrams per kilogram is completely fine. So what exactly does that look like? If we take 50 milligrams times 80, which is roughly my body weight at the moment, that's going to be 4,000 milligrams of aspartame a day that I could have still being safe. Now, if there are 87 milligrams of aspartame in a Diet Coke, how many cans does that actually look like? In fact, let me just show you. 46. Yep, that's 48. 46 cans of Diet Coke you would need to consume. 46 cans is within the safe range. Now, if you're having 46 cans of Diet Coke a day, one, you're probably going to be on really good terms with your dentist, and two, there's probably something a bit wrong with you. If you're having 46 cans of Coke a day, please do not approach me in the street. And these studies have actually been what we call lowballed. You can actually have 10 times the amount of that and still be considered safe. There are people a lot smarter than me, and they've done the research and they've actually concluded you can actually have 1,000 cans a day and still be considered in the safe realm. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier about that being concocted in a lab, let's actually look at the evidence as to if it should be put into your body. And there's actually something here called a dose response. When we were looking at things that are on that board earlier, the higher the dose of the carcinogen, the worse the outcome would be. For example, the more obese you were, the more you drank, the more you didn't sleep, the worse the outcome would be. Weirdly though, in the studies that happen with aspartame, people that consume it more actually had a decreased risk of developing cancer. So as far as the dose response, it's still not really in the realms of seeing it as a dangerous thing, even consuming as many cans as we saw earlier a day. When we have 1 can of Diet Coke or Diet Soda and it enters the human body, it's broken down into these 3 things. 10% methanol, 40% aspartic acid, and 50% phospholamine, or however you pronounce that. This might sound scary, but what does it actually mean? 1 glass of tomato juice will contain 6 times as much methanol as a Diet Coke. 1 egg contains 34 times more aspartic acid than a Diet Coke, and 100 grams of beef will contain roughly 16 to 32 times much as phospholamine, or however you pronounce it, as a Diet Coke. When you look what is actually broken down in the human body, we can't really build a strong argument that it's something we should be worried about. At the end of the day, I can just give you the information. It's you who has to walk through the door, or whatever Morpheus said. What is the right answer for one person might not be the right answer for another. Yes, a glass of water is probably healthier than a Diet Coke. But if you want a Diet Coke, I think you should be able to have one as a full-grown adult without worrying what other people are going to think. Similarly, it's obvious that alcohol isn't the best thing for you, yet people still drink it. You're probably going to have a lot longer, healthier life cutting out the alcohol. If I was to go back in time and tell 22-year-old Jav to stop going out and drinking, I'd probably get a left hook. I've had some of the best nights of my life not being able to see straight. We make the best choices possible, but still try and enjoy life. Everything in moderation. Remember, looking at things that are poisonous, it usually comes down to dose. Remember, even water in high doses is poisonous. So, the next time you go to that restaurant and order a Diet Coke and someone says something to you, they tell you how bad it is for you, you can now look at them and say, please, tell me more. In the meantime, me and all my clients will continue to drink Diet Coke because, well, I think it's one of the greatest tools for fat loss, for putting someone in a calorie deficit without them losing the will to live. If you found this enlightening, make sure you subscribe to the channel.